Right, guys, welcome back to Football United TV. This is Gunners from all corners, the show where we say Arsenal in multiple different accents. We have three topics that we're going to be talking about today, so let's just stay tuned for the intro. I saw you, cousin. I saw you doing that. I noticed.
Sorry, I'm just having a
It's
bad hair day. Yeah, it's terrible.
all good.
Um, yeah,
Like my hair days are very similar to one another now.
yeah.
But I'm fine. I'm fine. I had my premiere, my
Did,
bald
did,
premiere
did,
yesterday.
did you hang on? Can I just make a point here?
Go
Is
ahead.
is your like hair is like your bad hair days? Is it now cutting? Is it now cutting off? You have bad hair days. You're saying like, is it cutting half now? So like, 'cause you ain't got much left.
It's more than cut in half. Like I don't have bad hair days
Okay,
anymore, but I
well go. How much you want to go? 90%, 95%, 96.
it depends, mate. It's a tricky
Does it get
calculation to
itchy?
make because no, it doesn't get itchy. I have a good
Let,
head, but
let me get some
but the
itching
thing
powder.
the thing is the thing is I could argue that I don't have good hair days anymore either. So like there's both sides to the conversation. Anyway, my bald head should not be the topic.
I never
I
have
hope
good
I
hair
hope you
days.
you like looking at it because it's gonna stay here for a while though. Don't
I
see
think
it
you
growing
look
too
great,
fast.
cuz. Cuz, you look
Thank you,
great.
cousin. Thank you,
That's okay.
cousin. I appreciate that. I appreciate
That's
that.
No, man, big up for doing it. 'Cause a lot of people would have backed out.
Absolutely, man. It was a pleasure. It was an honor. By the way, if you guys want to watch the moment, well, not live anymore, but if you want to watch the exact moment that I shaved my hair, go to Steven's channel. It's the stream we did last Tuesday.
I think it was the last Arsenal gossip column.
There you go. There you go. We're gonna clip it and put it here eventually as well. But do big him up. Do watch the channel, and if you
That's after
can
they pay me for copyright.
if you can further support his channel, please do so. All right, so let's get this ball rolling, right? Because we have three topics that we need to talk about. I went a little bigger with the titles today. Deflating defeat at Palace, and I put that there just because Steven's here, just to please him a little bit. Did Vieira outsmart Arteta? All right. Um, I'm gonna start with Caillou and then I'll go to the two guys that are probably going to say yes to that question. Caillou, what were your thoughts on that game? Why'd you? I did not watch the game, by the way, guys. So I'm putting it all to you guys. I have no idea. So why do you
Come
feel
on,
like
be
we lost
honest.
that one?
Be honest.
And do you feel like Vieira was truly like smarter than Arteta that game? It came down to management.
Uh, I don't know if I think about it that way because, of course, Palace won, and it was always going to be a tough game. We discussed it last Friday, so I consider myself an optimistic, and I was expecting a draw because at Selhurst Park, it's a tough game. Come on.
Yeah.
Outsmarting, I think it's a strong word because we're not talking about like Arsenal tried to do the same stuff we have been doing throughout this winning streak, and Palace did something that they also do when they lose. So I don't think outsmarting is the word, but for sure Palace was the better team this Monday, so we have nothing to complain on that side or even argue. I would say.
All right. Perfect, perfect. I'll get back to you soon because I wanna ask like the main reason why do you feel like Arsenal lost, but I'm gonna ask that same question to all three of you. Just before I get to cousin, hello everyone. Nice to see you all. Always a pleasure to see you, Miss Mel. Next
You as
Friday, if
well.
you're available, let's get you on the panel.
Yeah, man.
But always a delight to have you on the comments as well. Cousin, um, I know you didn't watch the full game because you were on holiday, taking a much deserved break. But what were your thoughts on that game?
Yes, yes, and yes. Vieira did outsmart Arteta in every ways means as possible. Do you know what? I was on holiday and I watched this game,
Yeah.
and to be honest with you, I wore my FA Cup final Arsenal top back in '79, the year I was born, right? And I got to be honest with you, I would
1879. 1879.
okay, 1879, 1879. I'm
Hang on,
not
did they
grey
have the
yet,
telephone back then?
and I'm not grey yet, and well, I am in bits, but not fully grey. But what I was going to say was, I was actually watching it, and when I was watching it, there was a few football fans there. There was a Tottenham fan, a Chelsea fan, a Man United, and also there was a Crystal Palace fan as well. And he had the old when Ian Wright played for them, they had the old sponsor Virgin across his football top. So we had a bit of a laugh and a joke throughout the game. I got to be honest with you, I was disappointed. I couldn't. I don't know what Arteta's plans were in the game. I don't know what his tactics were. Um, it's like what I said to you on before I came on the stream. I find that Arsenal, instead of passing the ball, kicking the ball, or anything to do with the ball, they were just ball watching,
Mhm.
and that's what personally that's what I thought. Um, I think the only person I felt sorry for was Ramsdale. To be honest with you, that was the only person on the pitch that I felt sorry for. Um, Lacazette was rubbish. I felt most of the players was rubbish, mainly in defence. I don't think Ben White played well. I got to be honest with you. I've never ever run this player down because I always thought he played a good game in defence as well. I didn't think Gabriel had a good game as well.
Mm.
To
Oh,
be honest with you, none of them had a good game. So obviously bitter disappointed. I knew when I was before the game was actually played, there was two score lines that I had in my head. It was either going to be a 2-1 win to Arsenal, or it was going to be a full-on game, and we may have, a scrappy game, and it most probably would have ended up 1-1, a draw. That was the two score lines I had going into this game. But to see it 3-0 was just bitterly disappointed.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest with you, when I was watching that game, I mean, I had the other guys taking basically they were ripping the piss out of me. So I was an Arsenal fan. I just had my head down constantly. And as soon as that third goal went in, I was off. I couldn't watch anymore. And I was chatting to them like throughout the game. And I was talking about fourth position. And you know what? It's like what I said. There's obviously Spurs, Chelsea, Man United fan, or the Crystal Palace fan we was just having a laugh and a joke with. Do you know what? Who they reckon? They reckon they get top four? All of them said they reckon Tottenham's going to get the fourth spot. And that's the Man United fan as well. They reckon Tottenham's going to get the fourth. Because I got to be honest with you, Tottenham's last games they've won, and they've played really well. They scored good goals, a few goals in the game. I think Conte, it's taken him time, but he's slowly progressing that team. And I got to be honest with you, I think they're right. I think Tottenham will most probably get that fourth spot. I hate to say it, and I really do. I really hate to say it, but the way things are going at the minute, I can't see Man United getting it. I think it'd be Tottenham.
I don't doubt that. I mean, we don't have time to have that conversation right now, but it's
No,
like Tottenham has a much easier run of games, so I understand people thinking they're favorites to get it. Just that you could argue that they've been more inconsistent than we have. just because
Yeah.
we lost those first 3 games, right? Like, I think that's important because if you take those 3 out, like our consistency had, like, you do find a level of consistency that's much higher than theirs. Because I feel like they actually had a really good start of the season, didn't they, Tottenham?
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
I'm
they
not
did.
mistaken. So yeah, Steven, I'm gonna go to you now, but right before that, I just have a couple more comments here. Well, Miss Mel and Maddie bigging up one another. Is that Luca and the missus? Think it is, right? Big up. Big up Luca as well.
Really cool.
Thank you. Thank you. This dude here. Good buddy of mine. Richard Herbert. Hello lads. Is that your
That's my brother.
there you go. There
He's
you
a Man
go.
United fan, but I always swore my mum dropped him on his head when he was a baby, so he become a Man United fan.
I
So
mean, Richard, don't get me wrong, but like the thought of another Herbert who's also a United fan, that's like it's a scary thought. It's a scary thought for mankind. Um,
only
but
joking,
anyway,
Rich.
Steven, what are your thoughts on that game? I'm sure you thought
got more.
Vieira outsmarted Arteta, but what are your full thoughts on the game? And it's what did it come down to the most? Because I know that most, if not the entire team, played really really poorly.
Oh, the players are like their mistakes are clear to see, but it's the same mistakes that we see time and time again, and some of the times we've got away with it, right, in previous games, right? And but what shocked me the most is not the fact that we had a game plan that was exactly the same as the first game we played against Crystal Palace, which I count as a defeat. People might want to celebrate that as a draw. That's a defeat in my eyes. He tactically outsmarted him after they're going 1-0. After we went 1-0 up, he worked out how to get round us and beat us because we literally dropped back 5 yards. Right? And Vieira, right, not only bullied Arteta on the pitch, he bullied him as a manager, right? This 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 guy, that Vieira, right, has clearly managed to got a style of play, a formation, a lineup with youth and experience, which is how a youth project should work. Um, Also, a backup plan, ability to adapt in games, ability to change games with substitutions. Whereas Arteta, all you saw throughout the whole game, and it was reminding me of sort of what the end of Wenger's reign, right? Where if it didn't work, he's like that. Albert, what do I do? What do I do? All he did was sat there and speak to in Albert's ear, and he's probably sitting there saying, "Well, you're the fucking you're the effing manager. Get on with it. Do something." But he did nothing because he's got no backup plan. And when you don't have a backup plan, you are not going to be able to beat teams that have different systems and different styles of play, right? At the moment, Crystal Palace have easily worked out how you could bully Arsenal, outplay Arsenal, and outsmart them. They destroyed our midfield, right? With, I mean, who did they have in that lineup? I have to actually go back and look at it, right? But if I look back at the,
Do like speed up though.
oh no, I'll just quickly go. But they bullied our midfield and took control of the midfield with Koyate and Schlupp, right? Now
Right.
they've got great mid. This is the thing; they've got a mixture of youth and also experience coming in their team, right? And Vieira's been able to do that on £60 million. This guy Arteta has nearly had £250 million spent on his side already, and yet he can't beat a £60 million Crystal Palace side. Just let that sink in. And people expect me that
Stephen.
I'm going to let down and back this manager.
No,
No
that's
chance.
understandable. Fair arguments as well, right? Well, he could be riding to the Easter Bunny. He could be preparing. I don't know what Caio's doing there. He did react to a couple of times to what was being said, so I'm gonna give him the floor. By the way, 8 people watching right now, 11 a couple minutes ago. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Big up,
Do hit
everyone.
the like button, share the stream if you haven't yet, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Couple more comments. A lot of people in the comments today. Big up, Mr. B. Uh, your brother is supporting Spurs for top four.
Oh,
Um, a lot of
No, I
people
said the
here.
same.
uh,
Thank you so much for the love, guys. Thank you so much. And yeah, Caio,
before,
uh,
sorry,
do you
I
what?
know, Marley, you want to be on
Mm,
this guy. I just want to make one little thing. I make very clear. If we, with the opportunity that we've been given and the position we were in, give Spurs fourth, there is no standing for this manager to get a new contract. I don't care.
we're
You don't
probably
give
going to be
fourth to
addressing that
Spurs.
topic in a couple of in a couple on a in a couple of shows down the line. We're probably going to be mentioning that.
In the near
I'm
future.
still I'm still thinking if we fight for top four until the last round, I'm still thinking he deserves a chance. But that's a conversation for another day. Caillou, what do you have to say to these guys? And if it didn't come down to Arteta for you, what would you put like as the main reason why we lost that game so significantly? I know you showed me that the what was it, the expected goals wasn't like it was like 1.4 to zero point 0.9, something like that. It wasn't that far off, but it was
Yeah.
still like 3 nil. So what's your thoughts on that before we move on to talk about something else?
Yeah, no, I think that the game was heavily influenced by game state, and that's football, you know. That's the way things happen. Arsenal was not playing well. I told you that even before the first goal from Palace, but it's not like Palace created a lot of chances and 1.4 xg already considering the penalty, which was a big bump to their xg. It's almost like zero point 0.6, I think. It depends on the model, the xg
Hmm.
model we used, but that alone won't speak for the game, really. What I we spoke about earlier today was that the game, even though Arsenal was not playing well, it was not like Vieira was putting Arteta away out of the park. I really don't believe in that. The same Crystal Palace team won against City and gave a fair fight to a lot of good teams. And in football, I strongly disagree that we should compare these matches, and we need to deal with them as a one-off. So of course they don't have the same quality as Arsenal, and it's a great thing that Vieira is doing with Schlupp and McCarthy and Gallagher and a lot of players, but they were playing at home. We were far from home. We know how our younger players deal with the pressure of playing away from home. We have been seeing that sometimes they have difficulties to overcome the physicality of the league and the referees, because if we are going to speak about the first game at the Emirates, we must say that that game was very badly officiated.
Oh,
So and the referee was allowing Crystal Palace to kick the hell out of our youngsters. So that's football, and I think that in the last few seasons we have seen a lot of uh, weaker teams reach even higher positions in the table, than Crystal Palace. So if Vieira was all this good manager, he was achieving the same as Sheffield did, as Burnley did, and I think we have to be more calm about the situation, because it is really a point where Arsenal won a lot of games, and we were not overreacting to those wins. We were always expecting the team to have tough moments during the season. I'm For myself, I can say that I was very surprised with the way the team reacted. I don't during January and February and March, because I was really expecting the team to oscillate more, and it's okay to lose against Palace. I was already expecting a draw, 1 point. We won no points, but okay, it's 1 point behind the expectation,
Yeah.
and we still have a lot of games to come, and we have a direct match against Tottenham. So uh, I won't say the situation is easy or comfortable. It's of course I'm worried. I want
Yeah.
now that Arsenal has a chance to fight for top four. I have said that before. I want to see Arsenal being the next Champions League. So it's not comfortable, but we have to deal with it. And the only way our youngsters and our players will get used to compete for titles is playing this tough next matches, this fixture list, and deal with the situation. That's the way it is.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Steven, I'm gonna give you the chance to answer to that. I saw you reacting. Try to calm down slightly.
I'm
One second,
absolutely.
one
Do you
second.
know?
I'm gonna get to the comments before I give you, just because
Yeah, okay.
a
You
lot
go
of
to the
love's been
comments first.
shown here.
I'd love to know what
I
they
think
think.
the other Richard Herbert agrees with Steven. Seemingly, he says that Palace walked Arsenal easy on and off the ball. Arteta never had a clue what to say or what to do. Vieira was like a flying eagle and grabbed Arteta easy. LOL.
Exactly.
Hey
You could.
Marley in
You,
the panel. I'm gonna read all of them and I'm gonna
yeah.
give you the word. Hey
Sure.
Marley, big up Static, my brother. Love to have
Yes.
you here as always. The big British boat. I think it's a new guy. Welcome to the channel, my
Yeah.
man. Big up for being here. Yes, gang. Miss Mel again. People bigging up each other. BX Gunner 81, welcome back, my man. Thanks for
Big
being
up.
here. Um, Mr. Silva Fox is back with us as well. Thank you so much for being here, man. Big up, evening all. Well, Static doesn't. When Caio says it's okay to lose to Crystal Palace, what he means by that is that like we should not like freak out because we lost to Crystal Palace. It's not that he expects us to
What?
lose. It's not like it's a game against Liverpool. That's not what he's saying. He's saying it's a good team that could beat good sides. That's what he means. Okay, Marley again. Okay, yeah, there. Okay, I'm gonna take a little break on the comments because otherwise Steven's never gonna talk. Thank you so much for the love in the comments, guys. Steven, your reply. Don't rush yourself, but try to
Um.
make it as quick as you can.
Yeah. I don't know whether to be astonished or not surprised. To be honest, with that sort of response. So it's okay to lose against Crystal Palace. Right. Okay. Well, if you want to be in the Champions League, no, it's not. Right. If you want to compete with the best, it's not. Right. It's a Monday night game. It's at Selhurst Park. Do you know what? I remember back into that. Now I know people like to think I'm mags of have got high standards, right? But the way that the amount of excuses people make for this manager, it's very surprising how this club went 38 games unbeaten in a season, because we don't show the mentality for it, right? I'm not expecting Arsenal to be unbeaten in the season. I'm not saying that, right? But it's never, ever. What is alarming is that he's not only beaten us, he's beaten us. He's basically beaten us twice, right? And actually run rings around us. And what it shows to the rest of them is that it shows, well, if Palace can do it, why can't Brighton do it? Why can't Newcastle do it? Why can't all these other teams do it? Right? It gives them the platform of how easy bully Arsenal, and then that's why You need a backup plan. And when you don't have a backup plan, well, there you go. It it gets too predictable, and then all of a sudden, but it's just astonishing that no one gave Wenger these amount of excuses, but for this guy, he could murder someone in the Emirates and he'd get away with
You're
it.
so
He
you're
honestly
so
would.
extra, Steven. You're so
He would.
extra.
I'm sorry. There's no excuse. You can admit. You can honestly admit. Look, you don't have to sit there and like big up the guy and make every excuse in the world. You can actually come out and say we played shit and he played shit in that game. He can honestly say that and still be Arteta in. It's not like because you're Arteta in, you you can't ever say it, right? It's honest criticism, right? Otherwise, we're never going to improve.
But I
But
did say
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
Or
yeah,
were you listening
but
to what I
it's
said?
not. Yes, but what is not acceptable is sitting there and saying that top four, that thinking that freaking out over a Crystal Palace game is not something we should be freaking out over. Well, if we want top four, it should be because we should be sitting there thinking, what the are we doing, right? And
That's
then going back and see what needs to be sorted. Because
you
now
can't.
also now, Partey's out for 3-4 weeks, so there's gonna be
That's
exclusive
that's the
reason not.
next topic, Steven. Don't that's the
Yeah,
next topic.
I'll get to that bit. I'll get to
Yeah,
that bit. But
but
like,
just like I think you hold on to words or expressions a little bit too much. I
no,
knew
I'm
that
just
people. One second. I knew that you, uh, big up again, but I knew that Static was gonna react to Caio saying it's okay to lose to Palace. It's just that it's a different way of thinking. He's not saying it's
no,
fine.
I
He didn't
understand that.
mind
I
losing, right?
understand
Yeah,
that.
it's
But what I'm saying is just that whole what I was already disagreeing beforehand. But like, I'm sorry, like there there is no excuses for games like that. If you want to be in the top four and you want to compete with the best, you're gonna have to play games like that and win,
mate.
right? And so far, we've been doing well, and we've been getting away with it, right?
That's fine,
And we've been
we're
doing well,
moving.
and now
That's
and all of a sudden,
That's
like,
fine. We're moving on. I'm gonna go to the comments again. I'm not even gonna give the room to Caio again. It's just like what I want to say is,
yeah.
Caio, like he, it's analysis. Like he's not like coming up with excuses. Sure, he has a more optimistic view than a lot of people because we have a very divided fan base. But he's analyzing what he saw.
Yeah.
Like he's not like he's coming up with excuses for Arteta. That never happened here.
No,
Basically,
and
is
Charlie, please,
he
I
better?
need the room. Actually, I
Sorry,
need the room to answer this because I basically said that I worry about our situation, and
Yeah,
besides that, it's not up to me. Arteta came out in the press and said we never had the chance to compete. We never had any chance to compete. And he held his hand up and said, I'm sorry, and this is unacceptable. So the people who makes the football, the coach, the coaching staff, and the players, they should acknowledge that this situation is not okay. They know and they know what they need to do to reach top four and to compete for titles. That's the goal, not to reach top four this season, but next season we want you to compete for titles. So when I say I
and not
don't think
compete
it's
for titles
okay
next
to
season.
lose to Palace, what I mean is that we know we need to put our expectations in the right place because we know where we are as a team. We know our players. We know the stage of development they are. They know what kind of games we have more trouble and the ones are that are easier, and it has been some time that playing at the Emirates it's much easier than playing away from home, and we know why we didn't build up play against Palace. That's because our players were nervous, were hesitant. We know the technique they have. Why can't they do at Selhurst Park what they do at the Emirates? It's because
But
they
if Arteta
they
is such
don't
a
feel
great
like
manager,
it. They are not confident they can do that there. and there's the crowd experience for the Palace fans, and it's another pitch, and the opposition always try to put difficulties in the way we play, and Palace is a competent team. So okay, it's not okay to lose against Crystal Palace, and I just said that I worry about our position, but
That's
we need to know where we are as a team, and put our expectations in the right place. Because if we expect to beat all teams, then I will say to you, oh come on, I'm very disappointed we are not winning the title.
I'm
But I
just
don't
saying,
expect that.
look. It's
Let,
just
let
the way.
Stephen.
Sorry,
I know. Like the
I
conversation
know.
is a back and
I
forth
know.
between
I
the
just
two of
wanted to
you,
say.
but it's
I
just that
just wanted.
Anthony wants to talk, and I want to read out the comments. So make it really, really, really
I will
quickly,
make
mate.
it
We
quick.
need
I
to
will
move
make
on.
it
Half
quick.
hour.
I will make it. I will make it quick. Honestly, like, it's just sometimes the way it comes out, it makes it sound like that, right? So that's not a problem, but like in the end, if you're saying, for example, our players are nervous and we got dominated, that's where you need your manager to then on your touchline to inspire confidence. And what I saw on that night was that he looked nervous. He didn't look like he was confident about his plan. And if your manager's not confident, we're screwed.
Anthony, what are your thoughts on all this madness?
Well, I was going to say, do you know when two teams get out onto the pitch and they're obviously having a game of football? To me, is who's better on the day? Like Crystal Palace was much better on the day. Fact, in every area of the park, in every area of the pitch. Hence, that's why they won the game 3-0, right? But going back to what I said, who's better on the day? I mean, you cast your mind back last weekend, right? Who would have thought Brentford would have beat Chelsea on that scoreline?
Yeah.
So we're in the same situation as that in that game, really. With both Arsenal and Palace to Chelsea and Brentford, and we are. But in all fairness, it's like what I said. Arsenal didn't show up. He didn't show up at all. And I understand what both people are saying. I understand what Steve's saying. I take some points out of what he's got to say. And obviously, I take points out of what Payu has said as well. So, do you know what I'm saying? I mean, they both have good points. But this is what I'm trying to say. Is who played better on the day?
Yeah.
We didn't turn up. Palace won the game fair and square. I got to be honest with you. One more thing as well. When this season started, Arteta was given £150 million to spend. He spent it. But Arteta never said to anybody, this is the target that we're going to reach for. He didn't say it was top 6. He never said it was top 4. He never said it was anything. So where we're going to finish up, hence that's our target. He didn't give that at the start of the season. So, I mean, to be honest with you, if we finish 5th, we finish 5th. If we finish 4th and we get Champions League football, great. But he needs to spend money for next season, because I'll tell you something now. If Arsenal finishes 4th at the end of this season and goes into the Champions League next, and he doesn't bring in some good quality players, we're going to be a laughing stock in this Champions League the next season. And that's a fact. So, do you know what I mean? So this is what we got to think about. If we finish 5th, I mean, the question is, would you rather finish 5th and play Europa League next season, or finish 4th and be a laughing stock in the Champions League next season? Which one would you prefer?
I get that question. I don't feel like we'd be a laughing stock. We wouldn't be competitive, but I don't think we'd be a laughing stock.
Look,
So that's the and because the Champions League gives us a lot more money. But guys, I'm not gonna
But
have the time
Charlie,
to.
you need to
What?
put this topic in a next show, because I think it's a great discussion.
I
Really,
think that's a good discussion about the fact that will we actually spend that money or not?
Sure,
Because
yeah.
you know what these owners are like.
We'll have this Champions League discussion next week then. Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna go through the comments, guys. I might skip a couple because this is the most comments I've ever seen on the GFAQ. Thank you so much for that, by the way. It's probably the bald head.
Just
You
not
guys are
good
sick.
enough.
Yeah. Every game is important. Arsenal cannot afford to lose any more games, especially away against Southampton, Chelsea, Tottenham, West Ham, as those examples. Good point by Static.
Yeah.
Okay, so my man, okay. Mr. Silva Fox seems to be on the other side of the conversation. The overreacting after Palace is embarrassing, to be honest.
Nope.
I do tend to think that it was a little bit overreacting, but then again, didn't watch the game, can't talk about it. Static still
You
getting
don't want
used
to
to
watch the game. It
my
was
lack of
murder.
hair. No, I'm happy I didn't. Okay,
You would have lost
so
any hair that you have grown back if you watched that game.
Static says that that over celebrating is just as embarrassing or more.
Well, actually,
Okay,
sorry, Pallet, did you have that cut off? Did you have that cut off before or after the game? It was after the game.
after the
Wasn't it?
game, after the game, it was after the
Yeah,
game.
you wouldn't have needed a shave if you watched that game. It would have come off watching that game.
Fair enough. So BX Gunner doesn't think that over celebrating is a thing. I actually I don't understand the notion of over celebrating either. Miss Mel seems to think Tomiyasu is going to be back. Yes, Luca. Vieira has taken Anthony's words away. Uh, okay, guys, it's almost done. That's a lot of comments, guys. Thank you so much. If we get top 4 now, it'll be a huge feat. I agree with that. Still a huge feat. If we get incoming transfers, we won't look like amateurs in the Champions League. I also agree with that. I think I does too. Laughing stock next season. Arsenal new sponsor. OXO. I don't get that joke. I almost
Oxo
read that
is a cube. It's a stock, so it's a laughing stock.
Okay.
It's a stock cube. Some gravy.
Got it. Thank you so much for being so interactive today, guys. Okay, so we move on to the next topic. We spent a lot longer on Palace than I wished for, but it was a good conversation. Okay, so yes, Steven's overreacting to the next topic because he's probably gonna like talking about it. Injury crisis. Our thin squad begins to hurt us. So I didn't even know that there was a chance that Tomiyasu was going to be back soon, but we've missed him for a couple of games now, even though Cedric hasn't been horrible. I don't know about the Palace game, but now we lost Tierney, who wasn't one of the players that we mentioned last week. People felt like we deal with his absence okay, even though Nuno Tavares has been poor. But we lost Partey, and that was a big one that was mentioned a lot, and I'm really worried about that one.
Tierney is worrying, though. Tierney is a worry. Tierney is a worry.
No, but last week you weren't here. We had a stream where we discussed what player would hurt us the most by getting injured. Tierney wasn't one of them mentioned. Yeah, Partey and Odegaard were the most mentioned, I think. And Partey's going to be more missed.
But the reason I say also Tierney is because Tavares has got very little experience.
Yeah. Tavares, he's been poor. So who wants to get the ball rolling here? I'm a little fearful. Who wants to go? Okay, go ahead, Steven. You're raising your finger. Caio's yawning, so you go ahead.
I remember back in January saying we needed Wijnaldum on loan. We needed Eva Arthur, for example. Right? We needed someone in the midfield. Right? We also needed probably another cover at the left back as well because Tavares ain't good enough. And he's only a kid, so we can't really pick on him. I'm not going to have a guy at him if he is poor because he's a kid. Same with Lokonga. They're kids. They're firstly I judged everyone on their second season, really. I usually give players all the season. That reason being, Perez. Look what happened to Perez in his first season, then look at his next one. Right? So I usually try and do that with most players, especially kids, right? But I said, Ainsley Maitland-Niles going out on loan? Big mistake. I also said, Chambers, we let him go with no replacement. Big mistake. And guess what? Who's now missing in the CDM role? And we've got nothing to replace him with apart from Lokonga or Charlie Patino. Are
you forgetting about Mo Elneny, mate?
Oh, Elneny. Well, yeah. Well, Elneny is literally last resort. And some people would rather Patino on Nenny. Right? This is how bad things are. Right? That's how bad things are. Right? I said that it will bite us, and we will not get top 4 if we will not invest at least by getting someone on loan. You could have got Ronaldo on free for a loan for 6 months to make sure we have someone in cover in midfield, right? And actually someone who would actually boss that midfield on Monday, right? Because he's that good, right? And we would have got top and make sure we'd have the cover we need in case we got injuries and get top 4. Now look, we've got no Chambers to back up, who's got the Premier League experience. We've got no Maitland-Niles who's got Premier League experience. I don't care if people say he was a right wing back or a CDM or a CM, or don't care, right? Apparently, the Congo, we played Maitland-Niles in the Congo one time and it worked quite well, right? As an option, right? But you got rid of those players without any replacements, right? Just making bullshit crap up like we hear all the time about. Oh, we were linked with Isak. We were linked with Ronaldo. We linked with Arthur. We weren't linked to anyone. They didn't want to buy anyone. Let's be honest. They didn't want to buy anyone.
Yeah, that's another conversation for a great time.
And now we are screwed in terms of the midfield. And as far as the left-hand side, I'm just going to take a time. I don't usually pray. I don't believe in it. But I'm going to pray for Nuno Tavares because that guy is going to get some serious hate from Arsenal fans when he's just not good enough at the minute because he's only a kid. He's not adequate replacement, right? And that's what happens when you've got a youth side as well. You try and back it up with youth, especially youth that's come from abroad. It's a recipe for disaster.
Right.
And now we're in the shit.
Right. Well, I'm sure people are waiting to hear what.
I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be right. Trust me, I'd rather be wrong and we'd actually keep going and get top 4 by all means. Right?
People definitely, like it's been said, Maddie's waiting for Kaya's response to that. But Anthony, mate, you've been talking really little on this stream. It's not, just the way the universe set this up. But like, what are your thoughts on the thin squad? How worried are you? And then I'll get to Caio.
What is a worry? I mean, because it just seems like all the players, it's like what Stephen said, we got rid of all this, what we allegedly called our deadwood, which in one way was great, but we didn't replace him with anybody, not even a loan. Like when I would have got him in on loan to the end of the season, just to boost up that, bit of defense in the defensive area of the midfield. Partey being out, obviously, is not, obviously that's not good. Kieran Tierney being out, that's obviously not good. Like what Stephen said, Tavares, you can't blame him. He's young, and in all fairness, it's like what he said. A player coming from abroad to play into the English Premier League, they do need a season in the Premier League to get adjusted to it. And I mean, and obviously, I think he was a 6 million buy or something like that. But I got to be honest with you, it's like what I said. It wasn't, there weren't any deals done in January. I mean, you knew this because me and you was actually on the stream through the January transfer window, and we were just dying for one player. That was all we asked for, preferably in the DM situation, in that position, right? That was all we wanted. And
go back and watch that stream. Anthony punks me. He makes me believe that we signed. Who was it? It was
Ruben Neves.
Ruben Neves. Yes. I remember that. Yeah, go on.
That was right at the end of the stream, just literally 20 seconds before the window closed. But yeah, I mean, that would have been fantastic. I mean, not just that. I knew Arsenal wouldn't buy anybody because of the 150 million they spent. I mean, that's the most Arsenal spent in one season, is 150 million. But trying to get that loan in, I would have been happier with that loan, but obviously it wasn't to be. Our squad is thinning out. You know, injuries is getting. I mean, we got 2 injuries now. We got Brighton this weekend. What's going to happen there? If one player gets a knock, who are we going to rely on? And this is where Project Youth comes into it as well. But we're going to see players now gradually coming into this Arsenal team in the reserves that we've never even heard of. And you know, when you see the
subs, mate.
That's.
We're
I
already
mean,
putting them
I
on the
need to move
bench.
on. I'm gonna go to Caio, but I think that's a good thing. And Arsenal, it's been a couple of years since we've actually played or a cat like new academy players, right? Balogun's had a couple of games recently, but other than that, Saka and ESR. So I feel like a lot of people are saying that Lino Souza is playing really well ever since he got here, the left back, the academy left back, that he could be, like introduced to the squad because now we have no Tierney, we have no Kolasinac, he left.
Yeah, but
So like all
sorry,
that.
Marley, playing well for the reserves and playing well in the Premier League.
Of
Yeah.
course, of course, of
But
course. But they
obviously,
they,
what we
they
all
know
thought
the
about
difference in when
Tavares when we
someone's
bought
doing
him.
well.
yeah. I mean, Tommy
He was-
Yasu's
I mean-
not going to be coming back until after the Southampton game. I read
To
that
be-
today.
To be fair, to Tavares, we all said Tavares was doing quite well, and he was. To be fair, he was doing quite.
In the
he
beginning, he
was doing
was,
quite well at
yeah.
the beginning, but in the end, it turned out he's not good enough at the minute.
Yeah, he's young. He's young. He was not consistent at Benfica. He's not going to be consistent here. When he lost his position to Tierney because Tierney's a better player, whenever he was needed again, he wasn't up for it. Unfortunately, Caio, while you think about your answer, let me just go through the comments really quick. It's time to bounce back. We got this. Top 4. We've been thrown the deep end, and it's sink or swim now. Static's correcting you, Steven. It's Perez, not Perez.
Yeah, I miss said it.
We need to cheer support, get behind Tavares. Yeah, we need to support him, sure. So Maddie's excited for your response, Caio. Top 4 is out of our hands now. I disagree with that because mathematically it's still within our hands, right? Like we only depend on
Well,
ourselves. But I
it
get
is.
the logic. Tottenham
It is,
are
'cause they're
favorites.
They're ahead on goal difference, and that counts as an extra point again.
But we have one more game to play. So if Arsenal does their job, we depend on no one else. That's the thing. Tottenham
before
depends on us losing
yeah.
games.
Before the
And,
Arsenal game, the maximum points we could have picked up if we would have been, before the Palace game was 27 points. Now, obviously, deduct 3 points out of that 27,
Now it's
maximum we can
24.
get is 24. So, you know, it is still all to play for. But
Yeah.
whether we get that, you know,
You do know what our game
we're
in
not
hands
we're
are.
not screwed. We have Laka in midfield. I fully agree and support that statement. I've said that for a long time now. Morley
He's a
and Pano,
killer.
I have to go, guys. Take care. Take care, Static. Thank you for
Bye,
the
Static.
support, mate. Caio, your thoughts on the injury crisis? What are your thoughts? Like, did we make a mistake letting go of Pablo Mari and Kolasinac?
Yeah, and the thing is that I don't disagree with anything said.
No, me
And
neither.
during the January window,
feeling
I
well.
was here many times, and I said that we needed quality. I don't think Maitland Niles or Kolasinac or Pablo Mari would make the difference right now, and that's the real problem of the situation, because I was expecting a bit more from Edo, and mainly Edo and KSC, because I I always thought we needed quality and depth, because it was going to be tough. And we know Partey, we know Tierney, we know we have some players who are injury prone, and even Lacazette, because if we lose Lacazette now, we are in deep shit, really, because we're going to play in Ketcha. He's not good enough. And he doesn't even do the same things as Lacazette. So,
We haven't got
uh,
Balogun, have we?
yeah.
I
He's
almost
on
want to
loan,
give
isn't
Beereth a chance. You know that expression, fetch a goal. He smells
Yeah,
of
yeah.
goals. Like that guy, like he knows where to beat to just push the ball in. Like might as well give it a
Marley?
chance because Lacazette and Kitcha, for the love of God, what?
And
Kayo's not
Marley.
done. Kayo's not done.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll give you the room afterwards.
Yeah.
The Tavares situation is, for me, it's very messed up, because if you guys think that people are overreacting about him is because you didn't even see the Brazilian fans talking about Tavares. It's sad, really. Mostly because Tierney is a fan favorite here in Brazil, and people tend to overreact because of the loss of Tierney, and not only because of Tavares and some rough patches, but in a practical way, Tavares played 17 games as Benfica first team. So we are making comparisons between Tierney, who has played Champions League football for Celtic since 17, against a guy with 21 years of age who played 17 games for Benfica's first team when he came to Arsenal. That's only the second half of last season, and he has a lot to grow and a lot to learn. And we knew that's why we are so tough in the Edu's planning and KC planning. And I like Edu. People know that, people who have been watching the show here. But I was expecting more because now we have a team of kids who have to perform. And it's difficult. It's difficult. I myself think that Arteta will go for Shaka at left back. And I think of that because in the last game, in the second half, we had some good interactions between Smith Rowe playing the eighth position. We have been talking about that here, and Martinelli out wide. And I think that the fact that we have Lokonga, I think Lokonga will be the less of a problem of all the problems we have right now, Cedric and Tavares and maybe other injuries and Party. I think Lokonga will be okay. I think he's been working in the background for some time now, and it's good for the player to come with the challenge of trying to replicate what Partey has been doing, and he has been watching Partey play. He has been watching that. We have to hope that he learned. And I think of all the players, all the young players we have, Lokonga for being the captain at Anderlecht and captain of Belgian young squads. So I think he will be the mature player here, mature of our youngsters. And I think he will play Shaka at left back and give Nuno some time to breathe and work out things in his head. And we will see Smith Rowe playing as an eight with Martinelli out wide and Odegaard and Saka and Lacazette. So, but that's what we discussed in the last show about not having any margin for errors right now, because if any of our players go out injured, we are in deep trouble.
Yeah. Guys, final stretch. I don't wanna go over the hour mark too much. So, Steven, did you have something to say? Because we got to talk about the Brighton game, like super fast.
No, I can't. I can't
I
remember.
I actually prefer it that way, man, because we're running out of time. If you remember later on, I'll give you a chance to say it. Cousin, do you have anything to add to what Kyle just said?
No, not really. No, what he said just makes sense. I agree with him on that one. So
All right, perfect. By the way, guys, in the comments, I'll try to get to the comments before the hour mark. So we come to we're gonna have score predictions in the end as well. But before we get to that, just like we're gonna preview the game really quickly. Can we bounce back against Brighton? I feel like even though Brighton's given us a hard time in the past, it's probably one of the best games we could have after such a deflating defeat. Playing Brighton at home, someone that I feel like is not going to challenge us too much defensively. Like they're going to challenge us offensively, right? Like they defend well, but I feel like it's not going to give our defense too much trouble. So, what are your thoughts? I'm going to start with you, Anthony.
we bounce back against Brighton. Well, I'm going to sound like Stephen now, and I'm going to say, fucking hope so. The other thing as well is
Try not
Yeah,
to swear, cousin, but I appreciate the humor.
but to be honest with you, I totally agree with what you said because I mean it is a good game to have after that defeat at Crystal Palace. If I was going to go in mine, I hope we do win. I've got a prediction score in my head going around. I don't know if you want to hear it now or in a bit.
In 5 minutes, yeah.
In 5 minutes, okay. But yeah, I feel I think with Brighton, they're strong in the middle of the park. You know, they're slightly weak. They're slightly weak in defence, but they're more weaker up front. If you ask me, much more weaker. They're supposed to average a goal. You're supposed to average 1 or 2 goals a game. Apparently, stats say that they're averaging just under a goal a game. But it's like what Graham Potter said in his interview. He reckons if you can go and score in a game and hang it out 1-0, he said it's no different really to winning 3-0. He said so. People, strikers aren't scoring many goals now, are they? I don't know if you've noticed that, but this is what he's been saying in his interview. So he said he's got in mind that he wants to win the game 1-0, Graham Potter.
Well, then again, fair enough. Okay.
I think the way they've
Thank you,
been,
Anthony. That was really quickly. Let's see if Steven can do the same. Steven,
I like that.
fast thoughts on fast thoughts on the game. Can we bounce back?
he better. If he knows what's good for him, he better put right what he did on Monday, right? And go out and beat. But then again, we'll talk about Graham Potter, who I rate as a manager, because again, it's another guy who knows a style of play, knows a formation, knows a backup, knows everything that Vieira's done in Palace. You already see it in Brighton. The problem with Brighton is that they've had key injuries and key suspensions that have meant they've gone from 3-4, right? It's meant they've had to switch from a back three to a back four, and it's not helped them, and hence why they're now in dismal form. Everyone loves to blame the manager. Like, I love how everyone in the Arsenal fan base loves to blame Graham Potter because he's linked with Arsenal for some reason. Like, but but they do that with a lot of managers. But like, if that was Arsenal in that situation, we'd all be saying we can't really help it because of all the injuries we have. So yeah, so with their squad the way it is, he should beat Brighton in our own gaff. If he can't do that, then we have no right to be in top four. And if he can't do it, and for me, he's effectively bottling this top four race, then he can't stay. I'm sorry.
Right. I get it. Caio, do you agree with those assessments? And what are your thoughts on the game? Can we bounce back?
Yeah, we better.
Well, everyone said the same thing, just in different ways. But yeah.
Yeah, no, the attitude in the press conference was correct, I think, and the manager was showing a lot of faith in our players and really saying that the players are ashamed and want to bounce back and want to show everyone that it was a bump in the road, not the end product on Monday. So it's a game at the Emirates. So I think that we will see a very much more competitive game from Arsenal. And the problem with Brighton is what you all said. They don't have threats in behind. Their attackers are lacking physical power and goal scoring ability. So it's tough for them also. Our defense is good and has been very good this season. So I hope we can win.
Okay. Anthony just had a Steven moment where like our defense has been good, and he was like,
Yeah, can I just make a point? Make a point about that. I know
"You
very
can't.
quick.
You kind of
I can
can't.
make very
Hurry up.
quick. I'm
Hurry up."
sorry, I'll be very quick. We're 6 goals
You know what?
away.
You know what? You know what? I'm gonna give you the room. Final thoughts, score prediction, and where to find you. Let me take
We've
the banner
improved
out.
our defence. Well, we're 7 goals away from conceding the amount we conceded going over the amount we conceded last season, and apparently our defense has improved. Right? And what did we do with our defense? We spent 50 million on who? And that was supposed to improve us. Well, we're about to go over the goal against record, which we'll probably do by the end of the season. So, because we're only 6 goals away from leveling it. So, yeah, he's really improved the defense big time. And like I said, 3 of those, and like I said in my match reaction, 3 of those goals, 2 of those goals, like Ben White, Gabriel and Ben White. Oh no, the first goal, the first goal. A group
Final
of 4
thoughts
of
are
them,
supposed to be
including
faster,
Ben
Steven.
White.
Come on.
Yeah, and I will. What score prediction? My
Yeah.
score prediction will be 2-1.
2-1. Okay, good enough.
It's
Guys,
gonna be one of
I
those.
know that Steven both looks and
sorry.
sounds like a dick, but I just want to make it clear that in the background they made up. They're friends, okay? Everyone's doing okay
Yeah,
here.
we're
There's no
cool.
animosity whatsoever.
I didn't mean like to me. Didn't sound like I was going at him or anything. It's
Just yeah, Steven has this demeanor where like he looks like he's gonna murder your family, but he loves us all. So it's all good. Okay, chance of rebuttal, Caio. Final thoughts, score predictions, and where I mean, Steven needs to say where to find him as well. I'm going to give him the chance back, but go ahead. Everything, score prediction, where to find you, and final thoughts.
I think the game will be 3-1 for Arsenal,
Okay.
and goals from Martinelli and 2 from Saka.
Oh wow.
And everyone can find me at AFC_FOCO at Twitter. And it's Portuguese content, but people can translate with the Twitter too. And guys, I know Steven was going to come at me, and I put myself in that situation because I am the one defending Arteta, and I know he hates the guy. So people don't blame him. I was fully aware of my position here.
Right, right. Tá na chuva é pra se molhar, né, filho? It's, all
That
right.
better not be anything offensive towards me, mate. Or I
No,
swear
it
to
was
God, I'll
not.
get
It
it
was not. I
translated.
said if you sit, if the rain hits you, you're gonna get wet. So if you sit by the rain, you're gonna get wet. That's pretty much what it means. If you're going on a stream and you're talking, you're praising Arteta and Stevens there, you're
No,
gonna
I can
hear
have an
something.
honest debate about it, but it's just like if you.
Stephen,
trying
I
to-
speak fluent Portuguese, and he said that you have a tiny penis. Okay, so
Yeah, I also speak part Portuguese, and apparently earlier he called you a massive bellend.
Okay, I plead the fifth. Anthony, last comments, where to find you, score prediction.
right, what was it you called Stephen? First of all, you
I
called
didn't
him a
call
what?
him anything. I didn't call
No,
him anything.
on the first bit you said he was a cock or something. Was it?
No, I
not-
said he. No, I might have
Yeah,
said a
dick.
dick.
He's-
A dick.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
dick.
dick.
That
a
was
dick.
it. He's not a dick. He's a knob, and I'm the only person that's allowed to call him a knob. He knows
Yeah,
that,
and you have to fucking charge for it as well.
all right?
Jesus, there's the second F bomb. Okay,
So, hey, he started it.
he did start it.
Don't
It was
blame me
Anthony's
on this
fault.
one.
Cousin.
Right, my score prediction, is going to be 2-1 Arsenal. Goals from Martinelli and Saka. Brighton's goal scorer is going to be Dunk because he always scores against us. Lewis Dunk, right? So that's their goal scorer. The other thing as well, I heard through the grapevine that you've taken over Jim Carrey now, to star in Sonic 3 as Dr. Robotnik. You've got the hair, but you've got to work on the moustache. Is that right? But
Anthony, be very careful offending Marley. Right, he might get Will Smith on you.
Jesus, guys, what's happening here with all the Hollywood references? Anyway, guys,
Mate,
what?
look, he's taking a bit out of your shaved hair. All I'm saying is that Will Smith might come at you. Like,
Yeah.
Anthony, that's all I'm saying.
But
Where can we
all I'm
find
going
you,
to say
cousin?
is you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find me on Dugout Daily, Football United TV, and also you can find me on Steve's channel as well when I get like a link to go on.
Well,
All
just
right,
mention when you
guys.
want to come on, man, and I'll put
My
you on.
prediction, my prediction is going to be 2-0 to the Arsenal. I'm hoping to get a clean sheet. I also think Saka's going to get a goal, but I feel like the second one's going to be a little more random. When I say random, might be Odegaard or something, Xhaka, something like that. But I'm feeling confident Saka's going to get one. Okay, guys, thank you so much for staying here. Was one of the most dynamic GFAQs we've ever had. I'm sorry for not reading the comments near the end, but we're running out of time. We already did run out of time. Stay tuned to all the content we have. Yesterday we had two good shows. One with Little
He
Charlie
hasn't run
talking
out of
about the
time. He's
Europa
just
League
being
and
a dick.
conference. Caio had to run, by the way. He already let me know, but he had to run.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Caio, once again. Do follow all the content he has. Big up Anthony. Go watch me go bald on Steven's channel. That was a good moment.
Hey, I
And
ain't actually shouted out my.
go ahead, Steven. My
You
bad.
shout
Go
out my
ahead.
socials.
Yeah,
That
you
don't
forgot.
bother
I
me,
told
man.
you to.
Mate, mate, there you go. But don't really, man. Like, I'm not really too fast anyway. But well, yeah, you can find me firstly on SVT TV, where we do Arsenal football content. So tomorrow we'll be doing the watch along. We're doing a preview at 2 p.m. and then obviously it runs. Then the watch along runs into it. So it's a preview and watch along. So you can tune in for that. And also, if you just bring it back up again as well,
Yep.
I just got to put this in as well. Tomorrow early morning, I'm on my other new channel, which is the F1 channel. So if you're an F1 fan and you want to watch a watch along, come and tune in to us. We're up at 6:40 a.m. on tomorrow morning for the qualifying, and then Sunday we're up at 5:40 a.m. for the race watch along, and then there'll be a review around about 10 in the morning. So early starts this weekend because of the F1. But yeah, make sure you go and subscribe to Foot United TV first.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Always a
Yeah.
delight having you guys here, user family. And yeah, that was it, guys. Thank you so much for all the support we got today. Hopefully, you're back next week as well. We have some exciting content coming up next week and the next one as well. Support these guys. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much. Ciao.